What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at Fire Emblem Engage. We've got a bunch of new information and also gameplay footage, plus some really good news when it comes to the success of Fire Emblem Engage, because things are looking pretty good. So make sure you stick around for that bit. But before we get into that, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, and click that notification bell to get my videos first. Now, starting off first, we're going over this new gameplay footage that you guys are watching, in addition to some information from the official Fire Emblem Japanese page. They showed off all of this. Now, this is using Google Translate, so it might be a little bit off, but we're going to get the gist of what is being said here. And of course, you guys are checking out this brand new gameplay footage. So, introducing how to use the Ring of Herald of Renaissance, Celica specializes in magic attacks and attacks against odd-shaped enemies such as deformed soldiers. Since it mainly uses magic attacks, it's a heraldry man that works well with units that have a magic combat style. So remember, guys, in Fire Emblem Engage, you're going to have certain units that are more effective with certain emblem rings. Now, anybody can equip any emblem ring, but since Celica specializes in magic, units that have more of an affinity for magic can take advantage of Celica's powers more. So they're showing off some of the characters here. We get a good look at some of the new characters that were shown off, in addition to the updated graphics and build of the game. I'm guessing they're using whatever is the newest thing. This game is probably already done, but the environments, the special effects, the animations, everything is looking incredibly solid here, and I'm really impressed with what they've done here with this game. This is fantastic to see, and I like the fact that they're showing off more depth of the game, saying like, hey, if you want to be able to take out enemies with magic, you've got to use the units that are more effective with a unit like Celica or an emblem ring like Celica. So this is going to be really cool, especially for the harder difficulties and for the challenging missions, making sure that you have the right emblem ring on the right character and putting them in position to do massive damage in order to take out the enemies on the map and be successful, not lose the unit. Because remember, in Fire Emblem, there's multiple different type of ways to play. You can play the classic way, where if your unit dies, that unit is gone for forever, and you have crazy people out there that like to do stuff like that, like myself. I always play on classic when it comes to Fire Emblem, so this is definitely a good thing for the depth and strategy of the game. And a lot of fans are talking about that and discussing it in the comment section and on Twitter and everything, so this is great to see. Now, next up, we do have some more information and some screenshots here, and this is talking about the emblem or crest warrior Celica's synchro skill, Deformed Revenge, returns a portion of the damage received from deformed enemies. So if you have a deformed on the map, you've got to make sure that you have Celica on the map, because Celica is a deformed bodying expert. So she's an expert at bodying the deformed because they are weak to magic. So make sure that you have Celica out there. You can use her skills as well in order to take out these enemies far more effective than normal. So I like the fact that they're already layering on that strategy and kind of showing off the game more with these new screenshots and everything. This is fantastic as well. Now we are moving on to the next thing here, once again talking about Celica. It kind of focuses on her. Now, Celica's Engage weapon, Angel, can unleash a magical attack that inflicts great damage on deformed enemies. They're showing off more of that as well. Plus, they get into more of her skills too, just showing off Celica's Engage skill. Chorus can be used by splitting her magic attacks in two. The damages half, but there are two enemies that you can almost kill. You can kill both of them in one turn. So Celica has a pretty cool skill, which we did cover before, where you can actually attack one time and hit one enemy, then attack another time and hit a different enemy. So once again, if there are enemies that are close to dying and you want to just take out both of them, it does have the damage done, so it's not going to be as powerful, but you can get two shots in one go. So once again, that's going to add to the layer of strategy, especially on the harder difficulties when the life or death battles are going to be on the line here. Celica seems like she's going to be a very strong ally to all of this. So I love the fact that they've kind of focused on Celica and kind of what she does here, and I'm guessing that they're going to have a lot more focuses on various different characters as we go along. So Celica's engagement skill, Warp Liner, moves to a distant enemy and unleashes a powerful magic attack. Since you can warp while ignoring the terrain, it is useful for rescuing isolated allies. When used by by a unit with a flying combat style, a +5 square bonus is added to the warp distance. So once again, this shows that if you have this emblem ring Celica equipped on certain characters, you're going to get certain better benefits or bonuses. So mixing and matching, and depending on where you are on the map or what map you're doing, is going to be very key on saving units, on actually being able to get through to certain parts, or being able to take advantage of how a unit does things. So I love the layer depth here. This is fantastic what they've shown off, and this new footage looks absolutely incredible as well. I'm really liking what they've done here with everything, and Celica looks awesome. I can't wait till they detail more characters. Now, we're also going to discuss some other things as well, and that is Fire Emblem Engage with the sales numbers so far. So the sales numbers, let's talk about this, because people were kind of skeptical on Fire Emblem Engage in terms of how well it was going to do from a financial standpoint, because it's not as grand or as big as Fire Emblem Three Houses. That's just, it's not there. It's back to the basics. It's a straight up Fire Emblem game. It reminds me more of Fire Emblem Awakening than the other ones like Fire Emblem Fates, which had the different campaigns and the multiple different games and the storylines. Then they kind of branched that off into Fire Emblem Three Houses, which once again, you have multiple different campaigns and different houses that do different things. And this is kind of getting back to the basics of what Fire Emblem is all about. Fire Emblem Awakening to me, and then it's kind of adding in a little bit of flavor of Fire Emblem Heroes, which is fantastic because Fire Emblem Heroes is the most successful Fire Emblem game of all time, easily, by any amount of money. You can say that Fire Emblem Heroes is that. So I think that they're combining both of that. So I think that they're combining those two flavors, which I've discussed quite a bit in my videos, and this is once again very good for the potential of the game, because on the COMG, which is one retail chain in Japan, one of the larger ones, they kind of track the pre-orders, and one of the ways to see how a game is doing is stacking up its pre-orders compared to the previous game that came out for the series. Now, Fire Emblem has a number of games on the Nintendo Switch, but only one mainline Fire Emblem game, which is Fire Emblem Three Houses. Now, if you compare Fire Emblem Engage COMG pre-orders compared to Fire Emblem Three Houses, Fire Emblem Engage is absolutely killing it, because Fire Emblem Engage has surpassed the total number of pre-orders of Fire Emblem Three Houses at the COMG with about 2 months to go. The game is dropping on January 20th, 2023. So the fact that Fire Emblem Engage has already passed up Fire Emblem Three Houses at the COMG is absolutely a good sign. And it's a good sign for a number of reasons, because Fire Emblem Three Houses is the best selling Fire Emblem game of all time by a very good margin. We know that Fire Emblem Three Houses has done incredibly well on the Nintendo Switch, 4 million plus or so. So the fact that it's that high of a number and Fire Emblem Engage is already above it is definitely good to see. I cannot wait to see more of this game. But also you have to factor in the fact that the Nintendo Switch has actually sold far more units than what it sold back in 2019. The install base is always going to be a thing and be a factor, and I think that some people don't necessarily put that into consideration when you're talking about what's going to do better or what game is going to have a better run. Well, it's like 2019 with Fire Emblem Three Houses. Obviously, the Switch isn't anywhere near as high as the install base right now, because we're looking at 114 million plus, and that's before the holiday rush. We're hearing crazy sales numbers that are coming out with the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bundle here, and also in Japan we're seeing 90,000 units, 100,000 units plus with the launch of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And it looks like through the holiday season there's going to be a strong demand for the Nintendo Switch as well. So when you factor all of that in, I mean, I think that Fire Emblem Engage is going to have a phenomenal launch period, and it's going to do very good. So I'm happy for Fire Emblem Engage, and I think that the fans are going to be happy with this game as well. So what do you guys think about Fire Emblem Engage and everything that's going on there? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, now moving on to the next topic here, guys. We're going to discuss 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, and ATLUS, and an incredible sales number that has reached for this type of game. So total shipments and digital sales for 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim have surpassed 800,000 units. Publisher ATLUS and developer Vanillaware have announced. Now, 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim first launched for the PlayStation 4 on November 28, 2019 in Japan, and March 19th, 2020 in Asia, and September 22nd, 2020 worldwide, followed by a Nintendo Switch release on April 12th, 2022 worldwide, and April 14th, 2022 in Japan. Now, back in November 2021, the companies announced that the game has surpassed 500,000 sales worldwide. So if you look at it in that respect, 500,000 sales worldwide by the end of 2021, and then in early 2022, that's when the Switch version came out. And now at this point, we're at the end of 2022 and they're announcing 800,000 units. I'm guessing that the Nintendo Switch had a little bit to do with that 300,000 unit plus jump. 13 Sentinels obviously isn't going to be a game that sells millions of copies, but you have to understand, guys, for a game like this, which is a RTS visual novel, it's not a mainstream style of game. 800,000 units with 300,000 units plus in 1 year with the Nintendo Switch version is absolutely incredible and should inspire ATLUS and Vanillaware even more to get some of the back catalog out on the Nintendo Switch. I think that this is going to be a very positive boost and momentum for them, because they wouldn't be announcing it like this if it wasn't a big deal for them. This is not a massive game that needs to sell millions and millions of copies in order to be successful. 800,000 units is very good for a smaller Vanillaware game. They don't make the most biggest, technically proficient games. So the fact that it sold 800,000 units with 300,000 units or so, maybe a bit less. I mean, you never know how much the PS4 version sold when it comes down to it after that November announcement. But I guess that the Nintendo Switch was a big part of that 800,000 units and counting when it comes down to it. So there's stuff like Odin's Sphere, there's stuff like Dragon's Crown, Miramasa the Demon Blade. These are all games that would fit very well on the Nintendo Switch, and these big sales numbers, especially with the Switch version jumping into the fray here, absolutely gives them motivation to get at least one of those games ported over. I would guess that Odin's Sphere or Miramasa the Demon Blade would be the games that they would pick. I know that Miramasa the Demon Blade was a Wii exclusive at one point, and then it ended up going to the PlayStation Vita, and it hasn't been ported to any other systems outside of that. So I think that Miramasa the Demon Blade is a perfect fit for the Nintendo Switch, and I think it would do incredibly well. So I'm hoping that Miramasa the Demon Blade gets ported, and if not that, Odin's Sphere would be a great game, or Dragon's Crown. I mean, there's a number of games coming. I know Grim Grimoire Once More is coming out, which is a big PlayStation 2 game that they did. A very unique PlayStation 2 game, so I think that they're focusing on that coming out soon. But I feel that after that, there could be a chance for Odin's Sphere or for Miramasa the Demon Blade. So I'm hoping that is the case here. And congratulations to Vanillaware. You know, this studio's been around for a very long time. Every single release, they don't know if it's going to sell a large amount or not, or what's going to happen. So the fact that they are able to sell 800,000 units plus is very, very good, and I'm very happy for the developers over there. So shout outs to Vanillaware and ATLUS, and please bring over more of those sweet ATLUS titles, those sweet Vanillaware titles. I think that we need it. So what do you guys think about 13 Sentinels passing 800,000 units sold on the PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the final topic here, guys, we've got an update, a big update for Nintendo Switch Sports version 1.3.0. It does add golf and a lot with that. We got some other fixes and stuff, so this is actually pretty impressive for Nintendo Switch Sports. So Nintendo has released version 1.3.0 update for Nintendo Switch Sports, which adds golf to the game's lineup of sports. Now, here are the notes on this. We've got a big overview trailer, and I'm going to hop into this myself as well. So golf has been added. It can be enjoyed in all modes. Play globally, play locally, and play with friends. We added a shot assist mode in golf to make it easier for beginners to play. To use it, go to options, user settings, other. The setting only applies to play locally and play with friends, so no cheating out there online, guys. Please be aware that even if you have shot assist mode on, your settings will revert to normal and play globally mode. There's also new options here. Play with friends. LAN play is now compatible. For more information, you can check out how to use the LAN play feature on Nintendo Switch Sports. Overall, several issues have been fixed to improve the gameplay experience. I'm hoping that maybe they fix some stuff with the bowling, because I have no problem with the online in the game when I play. It's just that when I go to play bowling, it just seems like people have really bad connections in that one, but everything else works for the most part when it comes to volleyball and the other sports, for me at least. Now, this update is available now. Nintendo Switch Sports is a surprise, because for as much hate people throw at it, it's actually selling really well and people really like it, and people ask every other day, why is this game still selling, or what's happening with this, or who's buying it, or who's still playing it? Core gamers on Twitter just don't understand what families are when it comes down to it. No, I'm joking with that. But yeah, man, I mean, this game continuously does well, and I think that this golf update is going to help out with it, especially for people who felt it was a little bit underbaked at launch, which I completely understand from that viewpoint. But now that they added this golf in, it's also free as well, and it looks like it's going to have quite a number of things. I think they added a number of new courses, I think like 20 courses plus or something like that. So it's pretty good. It's a pretty good update, and I think that this is going to help out considerably with the long-term value of Nintendo Switch Sports. So what do you guys think about everything that we discussed here today when it comes to Fire Emblem Engage, 13 Sentinels, and Nintendo Switch Sports? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and we will see you for the next video. Peace.